of Nolan Wall's homie, Bart, is absolutely panicking, bro. Bart, after the audio got released, now the audio is what people believe implicates him in this Nolan Wall's murder. Folks believe this. And because of this, we've seen the result of that audio dropping where his name is mentioned. He has given the police 20 witnesses that they ain't know before. So why would you hold it on this information? But he gave them 20 witnesses. And they are also sending lawsuits and cease and desist out to anybody that mentions him in this Nolan Wall situation, which I don't think they can do that. You can't sue people for speculating about something. Again, you can sue them for saying you did something, but not speculation, right? So Bart is the name that was mentioned during the boat audio. So y'all remember when the boat audio was playing, it was like, yo, he's dead. Oh my God, Nolan. Oh my God, Nolan. No, Nolan, no. In that audio, after you hear damn it, Bart. Now, because that name was mentioned during the audio, damn it, Bart, folks like, oh, okay, why were they saying damn it, Bart? What was Bart doing to make him say damn it, Bart? What happened? And then during the interviews that Warren did and Tristan did, they both mentioned Bart. So now Bart is this new character who believes he's being talked about unfairly. And because of this, Bart is now telling TMZ, the police told TMZ, that Bart has given up 20 witnesses. And then we'll get to the lawsuits that Bart intend on filing. And we'll talk about who exactly he intend on suing. So this is...
Nolan Wells knew he has his phone's GPS and digital location data. In nearly every modern missing person investigation, one of the first questions investigators ask is simple. Where was the person's phone? Smartphones have become digital witnesses. They record location information, communicate with cell towers, connect to Wi-Fi networks, and may store GPS history depending on the phone settings and the apps installed. Because of this, public discussion surrounding Nolan Wells' disappearance has frequently centered on whether his phone's location data could help explain what happened. It is important to distinguish between verified facts and online speculation. Various claims have circulated on social media about Nolan's phone, including suggestions that location sharing or GPS tracking may have been enabled. However, authorities have not publicly confirmed all of the technical details regarding what location data was available or what investigators recovered. Any conclusions beyond publicly released information remain speculative. Even so, the topic has become one of the most discussed aspects of the case because digital evidence often plays a major role in modern investigations. Unlike decades ago, investigators today can often reconstruct portions of a person's movements through technology. Depending on the circumstances, a smartphone may contain GPS records, location history, timestamps from photos and videos, Bluetooth connections, Wi-Fi logs, app activity, and communications. Cell providers can also sometimes provide records showing which towers a phone connected to during specific periods. Each of these sources can contribute to establishing a timeline. Because of these capabilities, many observers have wondered whether Nolan's phone could provide answers. Questions frequently raised online include whether location sharing features were enabled, whether the phone continued transmitting after he disappeared, and whether investigators were able to determine its final known location. These are reasonable investigative questions, but they should not be confused with established facts. Publicly available information does not confirm every detail about the phone's settings or the digital evidence collected. The widespread attention given to the phone reflects a broader reality. In many missing person cases, digital devices become one of the most important pieces of evidence. A phone can reveal who someone communicated with, when they traveled, where they may have stopped, and whether they interacted with others shortly before disappearing. Investigators often combine this information with witness interviews, surveillance footage, and forensic analysis to build a clearer picture of events. At the same time, location data is not always complete. GPS signals may be unavailable in certain areas, batteries can fail, phones can lose service, and some location sharing features only work if they have been enabled by the user. Additionally, different apps collect different kinds of location information. Another reason the public has focused on Nolan's phone is that people naturally hope technology will provide definitive answers. Unfortunately, even sophisticated digital evidence cannot always explain exactly what occurred. It may identify where a phone was located, but not necessarily who was carrying it or what happened after the last recorded signal. For investigators, digital evidence is only one part of a much larger investigation. They compare phone records with witness statements, physical evidence, timelines, and other forensic findings. If those sources are consistent, they can strengthen one another. If they conflict, investigators must determine why. The attention surrounding Nolan Wells' disappearance has also demonstrated how quickly online discussions can grow. Social media users have analyzed maps, compared timelines, and debated the significance of reported digital activity. While these discussions can keep public attention on an investigation, they can also spread misinformation when claims are repeated without verification. For that reason, responsible reporting requires distinguishing between what has been confirmed and what remains uncertain. Suggesting that GPS data definitively proves a particular theory without official confirmation risks misleading the public and creating false expectations. The most reliable conclusions in any investigation come from evidence that has been verified through established investigative procedures. If authorities determine that phone records, GPS information, or other digital evidence are significant, those findings may become part of official investigative updates or court proceedings, depending on the circumstances. Until then, questions about Nolan Wells' phone remain part of the broader effort to understand what happened. His disappearance has prompted widespread public interest because technology has become such an integral part of everyday life. People understandably look to digital evidence in hopes that it can fill gaps left by uncertain timelines and conflicting accounts. Ultimately, while GPS and smartphone data can be invaluable investigative tools, they are most useful when interpreted alongside all of the available evidence. A phone can help establish where it was, when it moved, and how it interacted with networks, but it rarely tells the complete story on its own. As with every aspect of the Nolan Wells case, the focus should remain on verified evidence and official investigative findings rather than assumptions. The hope shared by family, investigators, and the public alike is that every available source of information, including any digital evidence recovered from Nolan's phone, will help provide clear answers about what happened and bring resolution to those seeking the truth.